Kids Club, Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club, Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club, Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club.
It's all about shit and stuff.
Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club.
Hello and welcome back to Tom and Ollie's Big Kids Club. And what are we talking about, Ol?
The prequel trilogy, Star Wars, the prequel trilogy, the dreaded trilogy, the one everyone hates, apparently.
I think this might be a short episode. So we've got Rich with us.
Hello.
Why am I waving? I'm not Rich.
Who joined us on the last episode doing the True Trilogy. How should we start this one off then? To MENACE.
We were starved for Star Wars material for a long time ago.
Yeah.
Should we talk about how excited we were?
Oh,
Good Lord. It was, okay, so the build up to it was, for me, it was first year of uni, so 98, I joined university. And yeah, just knowing that there was going to be a new Star Wars film was enough to suddenly be a child again.
Yeah.
And the whole build up to it and seeing some of the marketing for it, and because again you got to think in a pre-YouTube world, like we didn't have teaser trailers dropping every couple of months and things like that. It's like if you would see a trailer for it if you went to the cinema.
I know people who went and paid just to see the trailer.
Wasn't it on Meet Joe Black or something like that?
Something
I think that was,
like
in American people just went to go and see that film and then just walked out.
Yeah. But I mean, we technically we held the European premiere of that film in and University of Glamorganites will remember the Glamorgan Court kitchen of a certain Italian gentleman who managed to get a 2 CD-ROM sort of cinema rip from the preview in America. And we all and again with the time we're talking about sort of computer screens about this big, we managed to squeeze 15 people into this little like university kitchen.
Was this the bullshit where we had to wait a few months after America for Star Wars?
Yeah,
Did we have to? It wasn't day and day.
It wasn't day and day. It wasn't. No, it was.
I think it was by the time 2 and 3 came out.
Yeah,
But.
and then so yeah, and watching on this little shitty computer screen, it was still exciting. It was still this ridiculous thing. And then going to see it at the cinema, and it's the first time really I think people had that.
Did you try and talk yourself into it was good? Did you have that experience?
I think initial response was it was brilliant. It was new Star Wars, and that was exciting. And I think that was it. I remember going to see it somewhere over by Dudley for some reason, or Wolverhampton, with a friend who booked us tickets at a cinema there. And people took lightsabers and went in Jedi robes and stuff. And we hadn't had that in this country before.
Which was, I remember that. It was amazing.
It was a great vibe, and sort of coming out thinking, oh yeah, excited, pumped. It was awesome, and then it slowly started to settle in. I think even sort of when it came out on VHS, and my trusty AWA VHS player plugged into my trusty AWA. We're going to get sponsorship from anyone.
AWA.
Trusty AWA CD system with speakers either side of the room, so it was like vaguely cinematic, and the pod racing, which we'll come to, just kind of like panned across the room in your own sort of bedroom watching it, and it still felt decent.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, something over time sort of settled into, oh, then that wasn't actually a very good film, was it? Oh, who the hell was that little shit trying to pretend to be Anakin Skywalker? Why do we need
the stomach started to sink, didn't it?
And it gave rise to one of potentially the coolest, and you know my thoughts, we've discussed that, one of the coolest possible figures, the coolest possible characters in Darth Maul.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, and there's no denying that. And Ray Park, salute. You know, follow I am Ray Park on Instagram. Brilliant character, you know, absolutely fantastic character, and also the
voiced by Peter Serafinowicz.
Yes.
Is he the chap from Space?
From Space,
oh,
yeah.
God, yeah, of course.
Dwayne Benzie. But and seeing Jedi's in their prime, young Jedi's who could do crazy shit and run super fast and do ridiculous jumps and use their lightsabers in different ways. The first time Qui-Gon Jinn plunges that lightsaber into that door,
melts.
Yeah, so it's got some really cool stuff in it, but it's a wank film.
So like my memories of it were like the internet was still in its infancy, so like I remember the trailer dropping, and like we were on free. Like I just got internet that year, and so I was on like free serve, and it would kick you off after 2 hours. And like if you went on before 6 o'clock, it was like about 100p a minute or something like that. And like even after 2 hours of on a 56k whatever modem, the 2.5 minute trailer wouldn't have loaded.
No.
Oh, hurry up, I'm a busy man. Ugh, this high-speed modem is intolerably slow.
So the one thing that I used to go around to my friend Tom Wheeler's house, and we used to make meringue, but not make the meringue, so we'd make the mix, and we'd just eat the mix.
I don't think that's right.
Okay.
No, it probably isn't, but
it's just like raw egg.
We were like 14. Raw egg and sugar. And we'd watch the box and we'd phone the box, you know, the TV channel.
Oh, bloody hell.
And we'd phone it because the Duel of the Fates had a music video. And so that's how we could watch all of our Star Wars footage, was watching this music video. And we'd sit there with our uncooked eggs.
Uncooked eggs and sugar.
Now, while you mentioned that Duel of the Fates, and again, don't think anyone, even no matter what you think of Phantom Menace as a film, you can't deny that some of the composition, some of the soundtracking,
the hair. Even now, just thinking of the Duel of the Fates.
He's got it.
Yeah. It's just that those doors slide open. Duel of the Fates kicks in. Here's one part of a lightsaber. Here's the other side.
You're like, why is it so long?
Yeah. So there are, like I say, there's some awesome, cool moments, and I remember going to an open air concert down in Western-super-Mare, and they played all the music of John Williams in this park in Western-super-Mare, and they kicked into that. Sort of sat in this open air park, summer evening, just getting dark, and so it gave rise to some brilliant things that I think people have to admit are good, but it is not a good film.
No.
Part of the build-up for me was met Darth Maul Ray Park just before the film came out.
Oh right.
And but the cool thing is, like, I've actually I haven't worked with him, but I did a credit sequence for a feature film that Ray Park was in, and he tagged me in a picture in Instagram with the guy like watching the credit sequence going whoa, and I was like, what the fuck's he sending me this video for? And I was looking, I was like, oh great, glad you enjoyed the film. And then about a minute or so later, I looked back at the post and saw who posted it. It was Ray Park. I was like, shit.
Yeah, it's a good guy.
Yeah, and then like I remember going to see opening night with my friends Liam Delaney and Tom Wheeler and Matt Booth and that. And you know the free like cinema magazines you used to get.
Yeah.
We'd roll those up and we were using them as lightsabers. People were getting annoyed with us in the seats behind us because we couldn't sit down. Went to the UCI and I think it was UCI in Tamworth at that time. I think Sound Audio.
Okay.
And I always remember the drive back home because Vivan La Vida Loca was like _1 at the time.
Jesus.
And I just remember that being on the radio back when everyone thought that what's his name?
Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin liked ladies.
Is it Ricky Martin? Yes.
Yeah.
Upside, inside out. Definitely love ladies. Yeah, the Phantom Menace for me, it's just, as you were saying, just that build up to it, and just having been starved of material for so long. And I remember just going into the cinema, watching it, and going, "No, it was really good. I really enjoyed that." My dad, however, I think I've said this before, just fell asleep next to me, and I was like, "Oh, what?" But that's how I feel now about the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. So many things came from that movie though, because all the CGI that they used in it, it was all groundbreaking at the time.
That's the one thing. It's either brilliant for or the worst thing.
It was like a tester. That's how I...
Well, I was watching the making of, and it's called In the Beginning, and he's like talking about it, going like, obviously George Lucas had all the money in the world. He could have spent however much he wanted to on Phantom Menace, but he said, "Look, I'm making it for 150 million or whatever because if this film's a success, other people are going to want to use this technology for their films, and if they can't afford to do it, then we can't do it. So we have to make it affordable for this price."
Interesting.
So I thought that was quite interesting. He was trying to break ground in that way of like doing affordable special effects work and that bigger scale, because like no film had ever had that amount of CGI in it.
The real point is how can we manage to change the operating procedures in a way that we can completely revolutionize the way we make movies so that this is all doable. Because it's not just that we have to do it for this picture, we have to do it for 2 more pictures. And also, if this picture works, then everybody else will want it done for their picture. And what are we going to do? You know, I mean, nobody can afford to do it at these prices, so. But
the one thing I like about Phantom Menace, because I watched it the other day, I think I've already said that, but is that there's a lot of practical stuff in there. So like when the Jedis are running around the hallway of that, is it Vice Gun? Is it Vice Gunray? I've forgotten his name. Newt Gunray and Viceroy. When they're running around their ship, they're on a real ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, the robots are CGI and stuff that roll in and stuff. But Newt Gunray, he's got a costume on with a rubber mask, and it's a bit silly. But that's Star Wars. It's supposed to be a bit.
There was that connection to
the
previous trilogy, I suppose.
And I liked that they added in that they could run really fast. In Empire, you saw that Luke could jump really high.
Yeah,
because he jumps out of the carbonite chamber.
Yeah,
and then there's a wicked wide shot of like in the droid room where they just jump really high.
Yeah, they just drop down.
And I love that shot.
It's like and then some really
even
good stuff
that's a real set. Obviously, there's probably some green screen in it, but and it's just in the films where they just went, no, we don't need sets.
But where we're going, we don't need sets.
I mean, obviously, the biggest culprit is Jar Jar Binks in that film. One of them.
Yeah, one of the
there's 3 in my opinion, big culprits.
What's the name of the fly as well? Like
the racist Jewish racist blue alien.
That way.
Magic's done a work on me. God, what a racist. And also the dodgy sort of Oriental Trade Federation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's a funny voice
before they redid the voices. Yeah.
My lord, is that legal?
The thing is, the film wouldn't be if you got rid of Jar Jar. The story would still be a bit. You know, it's about Trade Federation blockades and stuff. It's like, well, yay!
Yeah. They do mention it in the other trilogy, don't they?
I mean, yeah.
But you can mention it. Don't show it.
Don't show it.
Yeah.
We don't need to know.
Obviously, Anakin Skywalker's not very
good.
Does he make C-3PO? No.
He makes C-3PO. Yeah.
There's too many weird connections.
That's just like.
But I think the mom's pretty brutal as well, though, because obviously English isn't her first language, so she's like speaking really stunted. He can't help you.
It's just,
So he's got an American accent, he's got like a French mom. It's like, there's no consistency anywhere. Or Medichlorians.
I was waiting for someone to...
I didn't even want to bring it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever mention it again in the trilogy after that film.
Is it just when he's explaining the midichlorians to the kid, he's nailed down, he's going, there's such these things called midichlorians and they're in
symbiotes with
that's it,
symbiotes with them.
And you're just there going, you've ruined
Stop
the
explaining
force.
It's the force.
You've ruined it, just leave it at
it's
the force.
Yeah.
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
Midichlorians are a microscopic life form that resides within all living cells.
They live inside me.
Inside your cells, yes. And we are symbionts with them.
Symbionts?
We call them symbiotes. Human and symbiote is the key to our...
So what else is the...
You can tell how much we love this film.
I don't hate it though.
I do.
Out of those 3 films, it feels the most Star Wars to me. In terms of how it looks.
And again, with the battle sequence, you've got the lightsaber battle, amazing. It really is, and the moments even with the sort of force field doors where they're trapped away from each other, and you can see the difference in character. You got the young sort of impetuous Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's what calls it when he's
like running and he's
meditating.
And then Qui-Gon sat there meditating, and Maul's there sort of like snarling, like tapping the thing with his lightsaber and stuff. There's that element's brilliant, and even to the point the bit of the space battle's quite exciting. Apart from then you've got a child who crashed into a ship and accidentally lets off some torpedoes and wins the day. But then you've got these fucking prick guns waiting inside a shield forever.
Oh, it's like bright daylight. Don't you think?
Black Panther.
I was just gonna say. Yeah, Black Panther. You totally ripped that up
blatantly.
You're saying big dodo this time, Jar Jar.
Steady. Fuck off. Who are you?
But the pod race was good. I like the pod race.
It's nice to have a brief F1 tournament in the middle of a film.
It's like 20 minutes long.
That doesn't advance the plot in any stretch. The win is
They
free,
win Anakin.
Yeah, but
And they win the money to the parts for the
could
ship.
have been shorter.
So, like, what do you think?
I'd love to see Darth Maul in all the other films, though. They should have just.
Well, that's the thing. With the prequels, I think what it did do, and again there are different opinions on it, is what it gave rise to away from that trilogy. I know we haven't even done the other two films yet, should we need to. But the fact that it gave rise to what I think is one of the best animated series, like the Clone Wars series, which is brilliant. And then, of course, you get the link between that and sort of finding Maul again as a character, because clearly he was underused, so they used him back in there, and then he comes back in Star Wars Rebels. So I think without that, obviously it wouldn't have spawned those things, and I think those two offshoots, personally, and crucify me, I don't give a shit, I really like them. I think they're brilliant products.
See, I haven't seen Rebels or Clone Wars. I have seen, I now love, I think they came out after Attack of the Clones, and that's the
Samurai Jack ones.
Yeah, what's his name? Gennady Tartakovsky.
Yeah.
This guy.
Genius.
These ones. I absolutely adore these. The animation is brilliant.
Yeah.
You seen these?
I've not, no.
Those are
You'll love
great.
these,
Those
man.
are
So
great.
So like this one is made up of like, I think each episode's in like 3 minutes long, but there's like about 20 of them, and they amount up to like a 60-minute film.
They're wicked.
And then this one's about 4 or 5 episodes that amounts up to 60-minute episodes.
They were great, and the CGI Clone Wars, and then we get sort of introduced to like,
More buckets.
this chap, obviously more buckets to collect, but then you get like genuine characters which actually in the films are kind of passed over a little bit, but you get to, which I think is quite clever, that with you have to turn it on. Turn it on first, then we'll get some there you go, there's Anakin Skywalker inside there.
Why is Anakin Skywalker talking?
Because he's talking to Rex when you press this button.
Today we fight for more than the Republic. Today we fight for all our brothers back home.
Yeah.
What does this do?
That it turns down, this is rangefinder. But I mean, sort of Rex geeking. Rex character Chewie.
Chewie's had a drink.
Excuse. Kashyyyk ale. Rex as a character, you really get to know him and you like him, and what that did well is, you know, this faceless clone army. You got to know them as characters, and they became human, and there are moments within that process of the Clone Wars where things happen to each of them as happens in war, and you feel for these characters, which actually you get nothing from in the films, which is fine because it's not part of that. And so part of me thinks, yeah, we needed that trilogy to spawn these better things. Could they have made these better things anyway and left kind of some of that alone?
Yeah.
The big problem with the Phantom Menace is there isn't a lead character in it. It should either be Anakin or it should be Anakin and Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan hasn't, like, obviously Qui-Gon's got the main part, kind of.
What do you think of...
But Obi-Wan isn't in it as much as you'd think.
No.
And Anakin turns up halfway into it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like a bit of... And they cast him too young.
Yeah.
But what were you going to say?
It's about casting him too young, actually. What do you think of him as a child in that? What do you view, like...
As an actor or as
an
a
actor
character?
and as a character?
Well, you can tell he's not a seasoned, because I was watching the making of, and they have 3 kids in the audition that obviously they've selected down and whittled them down to these 3. And out of the 3, he is the most natural. The first one is terrible. The second kid is more of an actor kid, and he hits all the beats.
Yeah.
But Jake Lloyd felt the most natural, but he also was the one that kept messing up the most.
Right, okay.
So I think George Lucas probably had a hard time with taking what he had and trying to get a performance out of what he got.
An angel. I've heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They live on the moons of Ico, I think. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
What?
An angel. I've heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They live on the moons of...
An angel. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe. They're so good and kind. They make even the most hardened spice pirates cry.
So again, that's why I think he should have cast someone who was a bit older.
Yeah.
And a bit more.
And also the jump then between episode 1 and episode 2.
Yeah, it's like, what, 10 years, maybe more?
It's too big a jump from child to...
It would be nice if they could have kept the same actor.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about good things in Phantom Menace. Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon's a nice character.
I love Qui-Gon.
Underused, liked him. Lightsaber battle. Jedis can do cool shit.
Maul.
Yeah,
Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, that piece of music's stunning.
It's one thing I think it's a shame is Natalie Portman, because she's a good actress, but she was totally given a disservice in that film.
Badly directed.
Yeah. Which is a shame, again, that he didn't go the route that he did before and give the films off to other directors. He just decided, I'm going to do it.
I think that's what should have been done there.
Yeah.
Totally should have.
I'm sure, though, there was talks of Ron Howard even doing the Phantom Menace back in the day.
Ron Howard involved with Star Wars.
Right, okay, so that's Phantom Menace out of the way.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what I think is possibly the worst.
I can't remember it.
Attack of the Clones. And I really don't have anything
That might be one of these.
good to say about.
Okay, into the era of exposition dialogue, I think it's one of the biggest things. The amount of times that is it Jackster Daxter or some bullshit name? Who runs a 1950s diner. The amount of times in that conversation, they're cloners. It's like he just has to shoehorn in. Are you getting the details, audience? Because this is where we're going next. It's really poor dialogue. Again, what should be a cool character, loving a bit of Fett. We've got another Fett. A Jango Fett arrives. He's got another cool version of the Mandalorian armour. And then they tell you that Boba Fett is a test tube baby that he's growing for himself.
Lots of them are.
He's growing lots of them for other people, but I want one that's going to grow at a normal rate for himself.
I don't think they even built one trooper armor.
No, they didn't.
No,
and
there isn't.
My
It's all
friends
CG.
in the 501st garrisons will attest to that, because all of their armour builds have had to be sort of referenced from a mix of the CGI and the cartoon series and stuff like that. And most of the clone armour that you see is actually based on the animated series, because it's sort of brushwork and stuff like that on there. But yeah, they didn't. There was no actual helmets built. Hence why Hasbro did their own recreation.
I'd say the the Jango Fett fight was okay.
It's alright
in the rain, but I really struggle to find anything that I really like about that film at all. Like,
I've struck it.
I can actually find things in Phantom Menace that I like and I'll rewatch. But
well, again, you're bringing in another sort of bad guy, and again you bring in another classical actor, so it should work.
Yeah.
But then it's a completely sort of poorly.
Oh, do you mean
played.
with
Christopher Lee? Yeah. But again, it's just poorly played.
I mean, Christopher Lee should be perfect, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it's like the way it was filmed as well? Obviously, like the sets and everything. It's got nothing to.
Standing in a green room, which we're used to. But
yeah,
with other stuff.
Like, the one thing I never really wanted or needed for me personally, I never need to see Yoda with his lightsaber.
No,
I always thought he was at that stage in his life where he was beyond lightsabers. That he was like, he perfected the Jedi.
When he's doing backflips and stuff.
So I didn't need to see that.
No, thank you.
At
least make Yoda look younger.
Well, they tried to do that in Phantom Menace with the puppet, and it looked quite bad.
Puppet,
yeah. So if you watch it now, they've gone back and they've CGI'd Yoda in the Phantom Menace. So you still check. Well, not now anymore. You won't be changing them anymore. Do you reckon he's his own private? That's the one thing we never mentioned in the previous cast. That some fans are doing their own versions, like their own special editions.
You can buy.
I've not seen them. I've tried to download them, but they're impossible. They're so hard.
Yeah, they're really hard to get, but they are quite decent actually.
Well, there's one guy who's like recreating sets and stuff like that, and he's even rebuilt the Wampa.
That's a bit
what?
All sorts.
I mean, you need a job, don't you?
What are they called?
They're called the de-specialised versions. Yeah.
I think there's a few different versions of them. I know the actor Topher Grace, he did a version of the prequel trilogy and cut it into like an 80-minute movie or 2-minute 2-hour movie or something, but no one's ever seen it or seen it be on this film festival. But yeah, I guess None of us can think of
probably
anything
move on from that film, to be honest.
Right, okay.
Done.
I happen to think...
Slave One's in it again, which is nice.
Is it actually Slave One?
Yeah, it is Slave One.
So it's the same shit?
Same shit.
But obviously got to repaint for...
Yeah.
Right, Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Just before we carry on, once you watched Phantom Menace and you realised how bad it was, that was in between to the Clone Wars. Were you hoping that they'd step up the game?
Oh god, yeah.
And every time did you hope that? Because I did.
Well, he always said,
Every single
there's going to be less special effects in this one. It's going to be a bit more toned down.
And then we did an entirely
film.
film.
I just remember every time going, no, they're going to get it right this time.
Yeah,
they're going to get it right this time.
Anakin rides a big potato in it.
There is that.
What is that scene about? I hate them.
Rolling in long grass together. Bullshit.
So I went into this next one thinking they're going to get it right. It's going to be dark. It's going to be... And what are your views?
I think it's okay. It's a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit in it. A lot of shit.
But I mean, I'm going to skip straight to the end. At the end, I really enjoyed when he's cut into bits. He's there by the lava.
Don't you think they... I think they overdid that fight though. Like they're jumping on robots' heads and things like that.
Yeah, floating robots in
and I have the higher ground.
All you need is the image of them fighting with a volcano behind them or something. That's all you need. You don't need them on the volcano.
Yeah.
I do like the end, as you said, though.
Yeah.
Even though at the end it doesn't make sense because he goes, "I've got the higher ground."
Yeah.
Cut back to Phantom Menace. Obi-Wan's hanging down. Darth Maul's got the higher ground.
Yeah.
And he still overcame Darth Maul.
Yeah.
So doesn't quite make sense, Obi-Wan. But anyway, I still like that.
And then the scene at the end. No, I can't even do. No.
Didn't they add the no into one of the original trilogy?
Probably.
Sure they do it. No. I'm sure they do it at the end. But anyway.
It's got some good moments, it's got some bad moments, there's some stuff that's over-laboured.
Like, Obi-Wan rides this giant flipping
iguana
dragon. And it goes, whoop, whoop.
That's kind of cool. Like, it looks shit, but...
The whole Order 66 thing is...
That sequence is quite cool.
That's a nice turning point. You know, the fact that the clones are sort of inherently implanted and programmed to when they hear this thing, they can't sort of fight it. Which again, in the Clone Wars series, there's some nice story around that as well.
Is that all set before or that Orders?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or do they get to that point?
I don't know doing it for people.
I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, watch it, it's wicked.
Watch it.
But so there are some nice moments in there, you know. Anakin killing loads of children. What did you do today? Slaughtered shitloads of kids.
Younglings.
And I think back to when he killed loads of kids previously. Actually, he's got a bit of an issue with it.
Like
killed all those sand people and all their children.
Oh yeah. I murdered them.
You know, I'm beginning to think that Darth Vader's not a nice guy.
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, again, it's
What's the fact they keep saying there's good in him that's redeem him? He's just shit from the beginning.
Yeah.
It turns out
whiny shit.
Lightsaber effectively dripping with blood. He's the chosen one, really.
Can blood?
Because the Force Ghost in the end of Return of the Jedi, they replaced Anakin, like the old Anakin, with the evil Anakin.
Yeah, but he's doing it's his screen. It's like he was doing a costume test, so that him standing there is a costume test. It's not like it was filmed purposely for it.
What have they done there?
The thing is though, Obi-Wan's ghost, they didn't have Ewan McGregor.
Thank God.
But yeah, why
I guess that was... I don't know what they...
I think some people argue that that's the last time that he was good, so that's why it's a Force ghost. But he wasn't, because he redeemed himself by chucking the Emperor down the chute.
Yeah. Should have been Vader then.
Yeah, just helmet and everything.
Yeah. Why aren't there Force ghosts in Prequel Trilogy? Is it because they haven't learned to do that yet?
Because Qui-Gon allegedly transcended into something different.
So he's the first one who does that.
That's when he mentions about him contacting him at the end of Revenge of the Sith, isn't it? Yoda says to Obi-Wan something along the lines of, "A friend has contacted me." It's just like...
Because I would have loved to have seen him just swagger in as a blue ghost.
They've developed like Force WhatsApp, so he didn't have to be
group chat.
Yeah,
thought it'd be easier this way, lads.
yeah. So, yeah, because if you imagine after Order 66, how many fucking Force Ghosts you'd need? It's crowded in here. No,
that'd be good.
But yeah, replacing him's wrong. There's no need.
So, is there anything else we can think of from the prequel trilogy, or
I liked some of the design of stuff that was nice. You know, I liked the difference, like with the Naboo cruisers and stuff like that. I like the chrome ships, a little bit more sort of hot rod and sort of like a bit more sleek.
Well, they kind of went for a 50s
throwback style
like
to it. And I liked.
They lost that, I think, though, in the other two.
Yeah, it was just the odd cruise, like just the other. Like the Royal Cruisers kept it, so rather like this.
I did like that silver ship. That was cool.
Yeah, yeah. So there are some really nice design elements. It gave rise to a couple of good characters. There's some nice moments of action, but I don't want to see C-3PO in a droid factory struggling to get along a conveyor belt
with the different head swapped on with a robot droid head.
Yeah.
Did you buy any of the toys?
Well, of course.
Yeah,
it's like all of that, and I've still got some of the packeted like Phantom Menace figures.
I thought
I had those with the little microchip,
the con chip. Yeah.
You will be a Jedi, I promise.
And I bought a load of the Attack of the Clones ones before I saw the film, so I had a load of. They've now disappeared or gone.
No.
I had a Mace Windu one, I think, and he kind of fired a force bolt from his force bolts. Forgot about that scene where
and
he
of course
decapitates.
It gave the right
chopped
to
the head off.
Oh, sorry, Tauntaun. It was these kind of the battery-powered lightsabers that came out of that as well, which was nice. That you could flick them out and you'd had the battery sound effects, which we hadn't had those before Phantom Menace, and they were brilliant. And collecting those and having late-night drunken lightsaber battles in the forest above the train station in the
because these were quite good for whack. You could actually like get a good
you could get a good solid whack around someone's.
This has got sounds though.
I'm just gonna.
That's my own custom one.
Should I see your other one, or is it in the box?
You want to show? Shall I show the children my lightsaber?
Show the children.
Oh, obviously the
daddy lightsaber.
Oh, I'm going to have a look at that.
So the master replicas were a beautiful piece of kit.
And
slide upon.
Can you take that out?
That there. No, that's the thing. You can't sort of have it. It's pretty decent as they
that's
go.
All right.
It should make a noise.
Give it a good whack. There you go.
It's nice.
So
get you in the face then.
We talk about the original Star Wars toys and stuff like that, but I think with the prequel trilogy gave rise to merch.
Oh yeah,
and there was a lot.
You have that is beautiful.
Do you think Do you think the prequel trilogy toys sold as well as the old ones? Because you can still now go to old comic book shops and they'll still have like dusty Phantom Menace figures.
I think they overproduced them,
but also
massively.
By that point, I think because there was
Panaka figure. Oh, I really want that
another one. I think by then, because we had that sort of collector culture, which I don't think we did really have. Certainly, like as a kid growing up with the original trilogy, like I say, you know, you get in the car, you get a new toy, you rip it apart, and that's it. You play with the bleeding thing. I mean, I remember burying my X-wing in the garden to try and sort of get it out. It was covered in mud and full of soil and shit like that. For some reason, Luke used to swim in the bath, but you know, it's just like I can't remember what part of the story that happened in.
The sexy part.
Yes. But then, because we knew by that point that value were picking up, I think, and I was guilty of it. You go and buy duplicates. You go one to have out on display and one to sit in a box in the loft.
I've still got
in case.
Not even Xena is a match for the limited edition double-edged lightsaber from Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace.
You removed it from its original packaging.
No! It's no longer a collectible!
Do any of those figures from the Phantom Menace, have they got any value? Have they increased in any value or not?
To some.
I guess it depends on who wants to buy it.
Yeah, not as much. I mean, I've got a make me an offer. I've got an original packeted Darth Maul with Comlink chip and stuff like that. Someone will want it. So.
Yeah. Which one is that one? Because I've got one where he's got a hooded cloak on and he's got like the one extended out, because that was a badass looking figure.
Yeah, I've got that one, and I think I've got the de-robed one as well with the double lightsaber. So I think maybe we were savvy to it, and maybe people sort of bought them in those ways. But yeah, I think they produced a shitload. I think
it was like with when they realised that comics were collectible in the 90s. They were, oh, toys are collectible. Let's just produce shitloads of them. So they have no value whatsoever.
Yeah, potentially.
I remember because I said to you I worked at Woolworths, and I remember when they came in, and I bought like one of each, and like they didn't even sell out. Like at Woolworths, they were still on the shelf. I never posed any because I kept them in the boxes, thinking, "Oh yeah, 30 years down the line, I'm on a winner."
Anyway, that wraps up our prequel trilogy chat, and we'll see you again soon for our chat about the more recent,
the new
the Disney era. So, see you later. Bye.